Good morning. So in the last class we have discussed the elements of geometry. So the Euclid was considered as orthogonal geometry, and we discussed some defined and undefined terms in the last class. So let us recall once again. Defined, undefined terms. What are undefined terms? The point, line, plane. These are the undefined terms. Why these are undefined terms? These cannot be precisely defined. That is why they are called undefined terms. With the help of undefined terms only we can, for example, if you want to draw the line, you need the point. How you draw the line? How do you draw the line segment? Line segment means to draw the line segment you need 2 points. So with the help of the point you can draw either line or line segment. So the point is the undefined. With the help of undefined only, the straight line or line segment can be drawn. So that is why these point and plane and line is undefined. These three are undefined terms. So a line is a breadthless one. Breadthless has no length, and a point has no length. A point also does not have any length. Point is that one, the part of this thing. So here yesterday we discussed all this. We discussed the Euclid angioms also yesterday. Euclid angioms, 7 angioms are there. Euclid's angioms, AXIOMS. Euclid angioms we discussed totally 7 angioms we discussed. What is the first angiom in the Euclid? Things which are equal to the same things. Things which are equal to the same things are equal to one another. Things which are equal to, for example, x is equal to y equal to, the both equal to k. The two things are x and y. These two things are equal to k. When x equal to k, y equal to k, so both x and y value having the same value, then x equal to y. This is the first Euclid's axiom. Euclid's first axiom is what things which are equal to the same things are equal to one another. The second axiom is what here, if equals are added to equals. If equals are added to equals, the wholes are equal. Equals are added to equals. For example, x equal to y. These are equals. When added, take both sides. For left side add 2 and right side also add 2. Then x plus 2 equal to y plus 2. If the equals are added to equals, then the wholes are equal. If this is the second. Third one is if equals are subtracted. If equals are subtracted from equals, the remainders are equal. For example, equals are x equal to y. Subtracted x minus 2 equal to y minus 2. The remainder is what? X minus 2. Here remainder is y minus 2. After subtracting 2 from x minus 2 remainder. After subtracting 2 from y, the remainder is y minus 2. These remainders are also equal. If equals are subtracted from equals, then remainders are equal. This is third one. Fourth one is fourth angiom. The fourth angiom is, you know that is things which are coincide. Things which are coincide. Things which are coincide with one another are equal. Coincide. The things which are coincide. For example, here x is there. Here x is there. This is x. And x and one more is there. Y is there. These two are coincide. Coincide means one over the other. Then the things which are coincide to one another, they are equal. The whole is greater than always part. The whole is greater than its part. Whole is greater than its part. For example, the whole thing is this is whole thing. In whole thing there are so many parts. Already I told you points can be marked evenly on the line. The whole thing is what? AF. Whole thing is AF. AF is equal to what? AB plus BC plus CD plus DE plus EF. So these are parts. AB part, BC part, CD part, DE part and EF part. All these parts are less than this whole part. The whole thing is what? AF. The whole is greater than its part. Every part is less than the whole part. That is the thing here. Next, the things which are double of the same things. Things which are double of the same things. This is fifth one over. Sixth one, x is equal to y is there. When it is doubled, 2x is equal to y. Doubles are equal. When the things are doubled, so the resultant also equal. So things which are double of the same things are equal to one another. Things which are half, seventh one, x is equal to y is there. When they make it half, the new one also equal. When the things are half, when they are reduced to half, the remaining also, the resultant ones also equal to one another. So these are the Euclid axioms, 7 axioms. Similarly, Euclid postulates. Euclid postulates. Euclid's postulates. Euclid's postulates. So Euclid's postulates are 5 are there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What is postulate? Euclid postulate 1. To draw a straight line from any point to point. So we can draw the straight line point to point. We can draw the straight line point to point. Point to point. This is first postulate. The Euclid first postulate is you can draw a line point to any point to any point. You can draw a straight line from any point to any point. A line can be a terminated line. This is a terminated line. Terminated ray. Terminated ray can be extended indefinitely. It can be extended indefinitely. A terminated ray can be produced infinitely. So this ray is there. It can be extended. Infinitely means endless. It can be extended. A terminated ray, where it lies, where it starts, terminating, terminal position, initial position. It can be extended. It can be extended indefinitely or infinitely. This is the second postulate of Euclid. The third postulate is to describe a circle. To describe a circle. We can describe a circle with center, with any radius. We can describe a circle with center and radius. So and so radius, OA. The center of the circle, OA is the radius, 2 centimeters, 3 centimeters, 4 centimeters, like that. So how can you draw the circle? Can you draw the circle without center? No. So it is not possible. So we can describe or we can draw the circle with any center and any radius. This is the third postulate. The fourth postulate is all right angles are equal to one another. All right angles are equal to one another. This is the right angle. This is the right angle. This is A. This is B. Angle A equal to B. This is the fourth postulate. And fifth postulate is if a line is fifth postulate. If a line is falling, the two straight lines are there. Two straight lines are there. When a line is falling on another two lines, so the angles, interior angles, the same side of it are some of them is, for example, this is A, this is B. The interior angle is what here? Angle A and angle B. Some of them must be equal to two right angles, 180 degrees. So when the line is falling in other two straight lines, the angles formed, interior angles formed on one side of it are some of those two angles will be less than two right angles. Less than two right angles means 180 degrees. So the some of the interior angles on the same side of it are less than two right angles. So these are the Euclid 5 postulates. So I hope you clearly understood this. So Euclid axioms are 7 and Euclid postulates are 5. The most important thing, with the help of these axioms and postulates, we can do exercise 3.1. Exercise 3.1. Exercise 3.1. If you refer textbook exercise 3.1, we will discuss some problems in this class. So then, exercise 3.1. Exercise textbook. You take out textbook, just see the textbook. See the textbook. Exercise 3.1 I will explain. Exercise 3.1. Some problems, 3-4 problems I will explain. The rest of the problems you can do with the help of Euclid axioms and Euclid phosphates. Exercise 3.1. Exercise 3.1. Answer the following. First question. Answer the following questions. Answer the following. Answer the following. Only here in this exercise 3.1 only we have 10 problems. So I try to explain some problems in this. Rest of the problems you do as homework. Okay, children. So first question: how many dimensions a solid has? Already I told you. What is solid? Solid means which has length, breadth, and height. Which has length, breadth, and height are called solid. So what is the question here? How many dimensions a solid has? 3 dimensions. How many dimensions a solid has means 3 dimensions. And second one is how many books are there in the Euclid elements? Yesterday I explained. In the yesterday class, in the previous class, I explained how many elements are there. How many books are there in the Euclid elements books? The Euclid element books written by what? Euclid. So it consists of 13 books. How many books? 13 books. So how many books are there in the Euclid elements? 13. Third one is write the number of faces of cuboid and cuboid. How many faces has cube and cuboid? 6 faces. A cube and cuboid has 6 faces. And fourth bit is what is the sum of interior angles of a triangle? Sum of the interior angles of a triangle, you know that 180 degrees. Sum of the interior angles of a triangle is 180 degrees. And fifth one is write 3 undefined terms of geometry. Just now we discussed undefined terms. What are the undefined terms? Point, line, and plane. These are the undefined terms of the geometry. The first question is over. Exercise 3.1 first question over. Now second question. State whether the following sentences are true or false. State whether the following statements are true or false. Also give reasons for your answers. So true or false? What is the statement? Only one line can pass through a given point. Is it possible? Given point, only one line. Only one line. Only one line can pass through a given point. This given point, we can draw so many lines. But here given what? Only one line. It is false. So just the point is there. Through this point, can you draw only one line? No, we can draw many lines. We can draw many lines. Our statement is false. Only one line can pass through a given point means that is false. So, B. All right angles are equal. Yes, all right angles are equal. This is what Euclid postulate. Euclid fourth postulate. Euclid fourth postulate are all right angles are equal. This is true. And C. Circles with the same radii are equal. Yes, circles with the same radii are equal. And D. A line segment can be extended. A line segment can be extended either side. Right side and left side can be extended. It is true. And E is given figure. The figure is given like this. The figure is given. A line segment can be extended. That is over. Next, from figure this figure is there. This figure A, C, the B is there. Is AB is greater than AC? Is AB is greater than AC? What is the whole part? The whole part is AB. AB is greater than AC. AB is greater than AC. Yeah, AB is the whole part. What are the AC? AC is the single part. AC is the single part. R part, this is the part. AB is the whole. AB is the whole. AB is the whole. AC is the part. Just now we discussed. The whole thing is always greater than the part. The whole is always greater than the part. This is the thing. Second problem over. Now, third problem we discuss. Third problem, in the given figure, in the given below, in the figure given below, show that AH is greater than AB plus BC plus CD. What figure given? This is the figure given. In this, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H is there. The total one is what? AH. These all points givenly marked. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. These points given. What you have to show that AH is greater than AB plus BC plus CD. AH is the whole part. The first point on the line is A, the end point is H. Between AH there are so many points are marked. The AH is the whole part. Already I told that the whole is always greater than its part. So AH is greater than AB plus BC plus CD. So AH is the whole. AH is the whole part. So AB plus BC plus CD find out. What is AB plus BC plus CD? Let us find out. AB plus BC plus CD. AB plus BC plus CD. AB plus BC plus CD means AD. Yes, sum of AB, BC, CD becomes what? AD. Up to AD. In between AD, how many parts are there? AB plus BC plus CD. AB plus BC plus CD equal to what? AD. So AH is greater than AB plus BC plus CD means what? AD. So AH is whole part, AD is the part. AD is the part. AD is the part. AH is the whole. AH is the whole. AD is the part. AD is part. So AD how you get? AD equal to sum of this. AB plus BC plus CD. AB plus BC plus CD means AD. So AD, when you compare with the whole thing, when you compare the AD with AH, AH is the whole and AD is the part. Therefore, AH is greater than AD. Since the whole part, the whole is greater than part. Whole is greater than part. Like that. So one more question we will discuss. The last fourth question. Fourth one. Fourth question. Exercise 3.1. Fourth question. If a point Q lies between P and R, if a point Q lies between P and R such that P2 equal to QR, prove that P2 is equal to PR. This we have to prove. If a point Q lies between P and R, P and R, if a point Q lies between P and R such that P2 equal to R, both parts are equal, then P2 equal to PR. From this, when point Q lies, where is Q? Q lies between P and R. P and R. What given? P2 equal to QR. P2 equal to QR given. The both are equal. P2 equal to QR. P2 equal to QR. So, what you have to do? We have to prove that P2 is equal to PR. So, P2 equal to P2 is equal to PR. So, P2 equal to QR. P2 equal to QR. So, here what we will do, the whole part is what? PR. Whole part is PR. PR how you get? PR. PR is equal to PQ plus QR. The sum of the parts. The sum of the parts. PQ plus QR is equal to what? PR. Isn't it? PQ plus QR equal to PR, sum of the parts. The whole thing is what? PR. The PR equal to sum of the parts. In PR, how many parts are there? PQ and QR. PQ plus QR. Sum of these two parts equal to whole part. PQ plus QR equal to PR. So what you have to write? What you have to prove? PQ equal to RPR. PQ write down. Plus QR is equal to what you can write? QR equal to write PQ or PQ equal to QR. Both are equal. In the place of PQ you can write QR. In the place of QR you can write PQ. So PQ plus QR means what you can write? PQ. Why? Because they are equal. They are equal to PR. So PQ plus PQ to PQ is equal to PR. So PQ find out. PQ is equal to 2 goes that side, it becomes 2 by 1 becomes 1 by 2, 1 by 2 PR. So PQ is equal to PR will prove. So I hope you understand this. Nothing is there. Okay. What given here? A point Q lies between P and R. Q lies between P and the whole part is what? PR. PR is equal to what? PQ plus QR. PQ plus QR equal to PR. So PQ write down. Instead of PQ you can write QR. Or instead of QR you can write PQ. Because they given that both are equal. PQ equal to QR. So PQ, QR means PQ is equal to PR. PQ plus PQ 2, PQ equal to PR. PQ is equal to 2 goes that side becomes half. 2 by 1 becomes half. 1 by 2. PQ is equal to half. PR. So hence it is proved. And here, fifth question. What is a draw equivalent triangle whose sides are 5.2 centimeters? Draw equivalent triangle. Draw equivalent triangle with the side of the equivalent triangle is how much? 5.2 centimeters. This is a rough figure. The rough figure of equivalent triangle ABC is a rough figure. So draw a line segment. BC is equal to 5.2 centimeters. Draw a line segment equal to how much? 5.2 centimeters. With the B as center, taking 5.2 centimeters, draw an arc. Draw an arc. First, what you have to do? Draw the rough figure ABC triangle. The equivalent triangle side is what? 5.2, 5.2. In the equivalent triangle, all three sides are equal. Draw line segment BC is equal to 5.2. With B center, taking 5.2 centimeters radius, draw an arc. With C center, same radius take and cut the previous arc at A. Join AB and AC. So ABC is the required equilateral triangle. Next, sixth one. What is conjecture? What is conjecture? Give example for it. Conjecture means here conjecture. Some statements which are neither true. Some statements. The statements which are neither proved nor disproved. Neither proved nor disproved is called conjecture. Conjecture. For example, the sun rises in the east. It need not to be proved, need not to be disproved. Such statements are called conjectures. What are conjectures? Statements which neither proved, which are neither proved nor disproved. The conjectures means the statements which are neither proved nor disproved are called conjectures or hypotheses. So Goldbach conjecture is there. Every even number greater than 4. Every even number greater than 4 can be written the sum of two primes. Sum of two primes. The even number which is greater than 4. Greater than 4 even numbers take. Greater than 4 even numbers are what? 6. Can you write 6 sum of two primes here? Can you write 6 sum of two primes? Sum of two primes. 2 is the prime number. 5 is the prime number. 2 plus 5 is equal to 6? No. And 5 is the prime number. 7 is the prime number. Sum of these two prime numbers will be 12. But it is not 6. It is not 6. So that is the conjecture. Conjecture means a statement which is neither proved nor disproved is called a conjecture. Goldbach conjecture. Goldbach conjecture. Goldbach conjecture means any even number that is even number greater than 4. Even number greater than 4. Whatever even number you take, that should be greater than 4. It cannot be written sum of two primes. So the even number greater than 4 can be written sum of two primes is a conjecture. It is stated by Goldbach mathematician. So a conjecture is that is proved to be true is called theorem. What is theorem? What is theorem? Theorem means a conjecture which can be proved. The conjecture that is proved to be true is called theorem. So with the help of some logical steps. So what is conjecture means? A conjecture, a statement which can be neither proved nor disproved is called a conjecture. Goldbach's conjecture means a conjecture which is given by mathematician Goldbach. That is why we call it as Goldbach conjecture. Goldbach conjecture means even number greater than 4 can be written sum of two primes. That is Goldbach conjecture. So almost all I completed 6 problems in this. More 3 problems left in this exercise 3.1. You can do 7, 8, 9, 10 problems with that. You try and do in the homework book classwork. Okay. So I hope you clearly understood. So the chapter is over. The whatever problems I skipped, you do for homework those problems. In this, do homework exercise 3.1. In the classwork itself, we complete I explained total 6 problems. Remaining 7, 8, 9, 10 problems. Do for homework. Thank you, children.